local nut job. Yes, the nut job of the vinyl community. I have reached nut job status, and I am proud like a badge of honor. Yes! Welcome aboard, cosmonauts. Freaking right, the weekend. Love it. We're listening to one of my favorite albums, man. I love this album. Love this band, Faster Pussycat, man. Killer album. Killer band. Doesn't have anything to do with what I'm going to be showing here tonight, man, but still, cool album, man. Love those guys. Great catchy songs, great hooks, great riffage. What's not to like, man? Funny, quirky tunes. Yeah, dig it, man. How about a little big chug right off the bat, man? I'm thirsty. I can't wait around for you. Plus, I got the Jaws koozie rocking. Jeez. All right, you guys ready to get it on? Let's do it, man. Oh, hell yes. I'm so happy you guys decided to come watch a little Cosmic Vinyl. It warms my heart when you show up, man. Let's do it. Come on. This is to you guys, man. Get it up here. Come on. All right. Let's drink to you guys. Here we go. Here we go.
Oh, yes, my good friend, of course.
I was thirsty. All right. This is going to be kind of a strange video, man. So I went to a flea market last weekend, and I picked up a few things there, but I went to the flea market with the intent of not just finding vinyl records, but also looking for comic books and weird magazines and stuff like that. My other addiction. Jeez. So yeah, I was looking for stuff like that, man, and I did find some things. Now, if you remember right, I did mention that I started a new Instagram account where I show strictly comic books, and then I've got my vinyl account as well. This is going to be kind of maybe a shameless promotion of my comic book account. I'm going to show a few comics of the kind of stuff that I post on that Instagram account. Old school stuff like this. I mean, you got 60s comics like this. Look at that old Daredevil, man, in the yellow and black costume, man. It's crazy. Stuff like that. Newer stuff from like the the mid 2000s. This is Secret Empire. Look at that great cover with Captain America fighting Iron Man there. That's so awesome. This is a great series, by the way, man. Captain America friggin' becomes Hydra agent. Yeah, the team he's been fighting against all along. Little DC Rebirth. Look at that great cover, man, with Robin getting friggin' choked out. Looks like Batman's hand around his neck there. But isn't that a great cover? Detective Comics. I like weird stuff like this, like Dead Man. Friggin' awesome. Love Dead Man. Some more DC stuff with Firestorm. Look at that great cover, man. Firestorm is the nuclear, man. He absorbs like energy and nuclear and heat and stuff like that. He's friggin' great. His costume is pretty wild, though. But I do love my Marvel, and look at that Doctor Doom cover, totally battle-ravaged in Secret Wars after going toe-to-toe with the Beyonder. Love weird indie comics like the Valiant stuff. This is Turok the Dinosaur Hunter. Look at that. Get a load of that. How killer, right? And I think this is Malibu Comics here, Ultraverse. This is a short-lived series called Sludge. Great cover, though. I love these what-if comics that Marvel put out. Kind of like an alternate reality-type stories. Like this one is what if the Thing and Beast continued to mutate. Look at that great cover. Got a little Silver Surfer story there. Another indie thing from Valiant there. Solar, the Man of the Atom. Great cover art. Ghost Rider. Always loved these kind of off the mainstream kind of books when I was a kid. Ghost Rider, Hailstorm, Damien Hailstorm, the son of Satan. This character actually is a St. Louis character, so I'm a little partial to that bad boy. Love the off stuff, like the weird stuff like Howard the Duck. This comic here is the first appearance of Kiss in a comic book, by the way. Very cool. Love like comic magazines, like this Nexus book right here. So cool. There's another one on the back. That's Justice Machine. And of course, the perch keeps me fully stocked with weird horror magazines with comics in them. So great. So that's the kind of stuff. If you like comic books, man, and you want to tune into the old Strange Comics on Instagram, Strange Comics with an X on the end instead of a C, do it, man. Sign up, because if you like comics, I show some great stuff. All right, you guys, well, you didn't come for the comics, you came for the vinyl, I'm sure. How about another drink real quick? Oh, I'm two-fisting it. All right, so this is going to be kind of a hodgepodge. Some of these are stuff that I would normally show on a Far Out Finds video. I want to just kind of revisit some of the stuff that Steve sent me. Stereo, the artist formerly known as Stereo Steve at Stereo999. Thank all of you who went over there and subscribed to Steve's channel. Really appreciate it, man. He's a really great guy. I've kissed his ass enough, so let's get on with it. But I think I introduced this as my cursed 45. This is actually Steve's music right here, Stereo Steve's music. And it's quite good, man. The first side is him playing guitar, like an instrumental. Found it to be fantastic, very freaking fascinating. Then the other side is just this haunting, like, I don't know how to describe it, like a horror movie kind of instrumental, but I really dug it. I just kind of wanted to point out that this is Steve's stuff right here. Gotta get a... It's Window Pane Industries is what it's called, man. Very, very cool. Steve is talented, man. He's a guitar, he sings, makes great videos. But this is the other one that he sent me that I couldn't wait to listen to. Remember that? This is Matt Baldwin, Paths of Ignition. This just blew my mind. This is like acoustic guitar stuff. I've never heard anybody play an acoustic guitar like this guy does. I mean, the opening track is Weissensee by the krautrock band New, N-E-U. It's a cover of that. Then he ends the side with a cover of Judas Priest's Winter. It gets really grungy and sludgy. There's some distortion, if you can imagine distortion from an acoustic guitar. This was the definitely the highlight of the bunch right here, man. I just want to mention this one more time. It's Matt Baldwin, Paths of Ignition. Check this out, man. I don't think you'd be disappointed. And when I say acoustic, I mean some very like experimental, crazy, progressive type acoustic guitar, not like folky or anything. He turned folk music on its brain, man. Very cool. This is just some stuff that I've picked up that I haven't shown. I wanted to get it out there for finally. But this is The Sports, Don't Throw Stones, man. I friggin' love this album, man. Check out that great cover. This is actually Australian power pop right here. It was released in 1978 on Arista Records. I think originally it was released on an Australian label, but this is the Arista release. Kind of like that late 70s power pop, in the vein of like an Elvis Costello. So my boy George, a Blockhead, I think you dig this, man, for sure. Very similar to Elvis Costello. Also kind of reminds me a little bit of like the early, like cool, the Boss, Bruce Springsteen, his early stuff, man. Very cool. I dig this, man. And again, Australian power pop. This singer right here, I actually kind of stumbled upon one of their videos, the video for Who Listens to the Radio, which is a great track that's on here. But yeah, the singer, he's kind of got a quirkiness to him, and he's like a dynamo on stage, though. If you're into like late 70s power pop in the vein of Elvis Costello, I think you dig that. And this is another one. This is one the Perch sent me a while back. I never got a chance to show, but this is UFO Mechanics. I believe this one was released in 1982. I believe on Chrysalis Records. This is like hard rock. I guess bordering on maybe like pre-metal type stuff. Kind of in the vein of like, say, a Montrose, or some of it even sounds a little bit like Night Ranger. There's some songs on there like Night Ranger. This is post Michael Schenker UFO right here. But there are some great tunes on here, man. Yeah, there's a cover on here of Eddie Cochran's Something Else. It's been covered by Sid Vicious of the Sex Pistols, and I think there's been other punk bands that have covered it. But I love that track, man. Look over there, across the street. There's a car built just for me. To own a car would be a luxury, but right now I can't afford the gas. A brand new convertible is out of my class, but that can't stop me from thinking to myself, that car's fine looking, man. It's something else. Jesus. Anyway, this is that when I heard that cover on here, it caught me off guard, because the rest of this is like arena oriented kind of hard rock stuff right here. UFO Mechanics. And check this out. There was an advertising tagline for this. UFO Mechanics. It'll tighten up your nuts. Jesus, yes. Oh, God. Oh, you gotta love rock and roll humor, right? All right, let's get on with it. Like I said, I went to a flea market this past weekend over in Belleville, Illinois. It's this huge flea market. I don't even know if you could get through the whole thing in a day if you wanted to check out everything. But I hooked up with my good friend Travis over there, man. He's a vendor over there, good friend of mine. He sells records. And I sat down and started visiting with him, and he hands me this record, this Killing Joke record, man. Brighter than a Thousand Suns. I was blown away, man. It's even got the hype on there and everything, man. They're probably best known for their song, Live in the 80s. I'm living in the 80s. Love that track, by the way. Kind of expected a little bit more of stuff like that on this, which this is a bit more like polished. In fact, after the first two songs, I was thinking, man, more new wave than like post-punk, that gothic kind of post-punk that Killing Joke is known for. But then when they get into like the third or fourth song, Chessboards and Twilight of the Mortal, then it starts to kick in, man. But yeah, this was a little bit more polished than I expected it to be. Released in 1986 on Virgin Records. Very cool record though, man. I was super stoked to get this. Here's the gatefold, so you got the pictures of the guys in the band there. Awesome. Still an awesome record, don't get me wrong, man. I think they did a reissue of this later on, where they went back to the original mixes that were a little bit more heavy. There's definitely some heavy percussion on that album. Yeah, I dig it, man. And great cover, man. I mean, it's like, what's he looking at? What are you seeing up there, man? Huh? Oh, I see it now. Can't tell them though, okay? Jeez, whatever. Now this one, I was so stoked when I got this, man. As you know, I picked up the Idle Race birthday party, and I showed it in my last Far Off Finds video. This is something Travis had in his bins there. And I don't see this very often, so I bundled this with the next record I'm going to show. Gave me a hell of a deal, man. But this is The Move, Shazam, released in 1970 on A&M Records. This is, Roy Wood is pretty much like the main songwriter at this point. Even though I think there's really only maybe 1 or 2 original tracks on this album. There's a few covers on here, and they revisit one of their songs that came out on another album, which I believe is Cherry Blossom Clinic, which is a great track, by the way. So this is like leaning towards a harder rock. God, some of the songs almost sound like metal, but they also have that like California kind of psychedelic stuff mixed with that a real British sound as well. This is a band in turmoil though during the recording of this and the touring of this. In fact, this is pretty much The Move coming to the end of their run right here. Love the comic book superhero cover there. That always attracted me. Don't you think this guy looks a little bit like a cartoon version of Mick Jagger? Jeez. And this guy looks a little bit like Joey Ramone. Jeez. But yeah, this is pretty much The Move, like running their course. I think Roy Wood at this point wanted to join Jeff Lynne in doing this like rock and roll with strings thing. Maybe you've heard of the band. It's called ELO. Jeez. But yeah, man, I do dig this album though. So cool. I think there's like maybe 8 tracks on here, but great stuff. Let me show you the back of the cover here with the pictures of the band there. I believe that's Roy Wood right there. But this thing is in pristine condition, man. Love it. All right, last album. It's a big hole filler for me here. This is Diamond Dogs by David Bowie. Did not have this, believe it or not, man. This is released in 1974 on RCA Records. So Bowie had disbanded the Spiders from Mars. I believe Ken Scott, his producer for the last couple albums, was also gone. Brought Tony Visconti back in, who hadn't worked with Bowie for like 4 years. And actually, here's another quick factoid that I didn't know about. I guess Bowie played the lead guitar on this album, of course, in the absence of Mick Ronson, who had been his guitar player with the Spiders. But yeah, man, I cannot believe I finally own this record, man. I'm so excited. You've got the title track, Diamond Dogs. You've got Rebel Rebel. But I like this whole album. Kind of experimental leanings to it. But so killer. Here, I'll open it and give you the full effect. Doesn't have the dog dick on it, but you know, who wants to sit there? We've all seen a dog dick. I mean, come on. And I don't even know if it was if it was like busting out a pinky either, so it's no big deal. We've all seen it. Jeez. Here's the gatefold there with like a city shrouded in fog. But that's Diamond Dogs, man. A big hole filler for my Bowie collection. I got a couple more albums I'd like to get, and I'd like to do a Bowie artist spotlight video. Jeez. All right, you guys, stay cool, stay cosmic. I love you guys, man. Thank you so much for tuning in, man.